Hello, Computech Middle School, and welcome to the 2011-2012 school year. I'm here at the beautiful Getty Museum, and I thought what a perfect place to be able to introduce my very first presentation for buyback, or one of my presentations for buyback, using the flipped classroom model, along with my brother Matt, who's the new principal of Sequoia Middle School. So you'll see kind of both of us in here. Now, many of you recall the idea behind the flipped classroom is to take the direct instruction aspect of the lesson and have that take place out of the classroom so that there's more time for practice and application. That's exactly something I'm hoping to be able to accomplish here today, specifically with one of the aspects of the Foundations for Accountable Communities. Many of you will recall that FTA leadership and FUSD leadership recently developed some foundations for success both in the classroom and for our professional learning communities, or what we now call accountable communities. This video presentation is going to focus on the accountable community piece. So without any further ado, I want to welcome you back again formally. Excited to have you, and hope you find this video probably a little goofy, hopefully fun, and hopefully interesting to provide us with some good frame of reference for discussion on our future accountable community work here at Computech. Without any further ado, here is the presentation on accountable communities.
The first foundation for accountable learning communities is simply that our work is grounded in 4 essential questions. And these grounding questions drive really the entire work for our accountable communities. And these 4 questions are: what do we want students to learn? How will we know if they've learned it? What will we do if they haven't learned it? And what will we do if they have learned it? So let's see my son Benny as he demonstrates how these types of essential questions can help us get through any task that we're trying to do.
Welcome to Bishop Speak. We're hiking all the way to the top, and there's 4 questions. Are we there yet? Can I have a drink of water? Where's the elevator? And Daddy, can you carry me?
Okay guys, we have 2 weeks left until school starts. What are we going to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm so bored.
I know. Let's make cookies. No. I know. Let's play infected. No, let's do art.
Gosh, guys, we never seem to have a plan, so we can never decide on anything.
So the second foundation for our accountable community work is the idea that going into accountable community meetings or professional learning, we have an agreed upon agenda, and that agenda has common components, and the kids, Jeremy and I's kids, just demonstrated what it would look like not to have a plan going into a meeting, and oftentimes what that leads to is unproductive use of time. So once again, this foundation is simply that we have an agenda, that there's some common components to good agendas that we'll be discussing more in our meetings and over the course of this year, but that we plan effective use for our time.
Jeremy and I love to mountain bike. We've been doing a lot of that this summer. One of the things that I use on my mountain bike to help me is a little computer, this little guy right here on my handlebars. It's helpful because as I'm riding, it tells me how fast I'm going, how far I've gone, and how long I've been riding. And that's really helpful when I make decisions about things like how much further I want to go and if I need to speed up or slow down. It's also helpful at the end of the ride because it tells us the total distance that we covered, the total amount of time that the bike was actually moving, which usually isn't as long as I think it is, and just gives me some good data at the end. This is a lot like the third principle of accountable communities. We want to use assessment data to help us make decisions about our instruction and what we're going to do in our accountable communities. And that would include both formative assessments and summative assessments. All right. I got a little bit further to go, and I'm looking for the escalator right now.
Here we are in my home to help demonstrate the fourth principle or foundation of accountable communities, and that is student needs for intervention or enrichment are addressed through a tiered system of support in an effort to answer the foundation question of what do we do when students have learned and what do we do when students have not learned. So we're going to drop in on piano lessons, an occasion in our home that can be very serene and beautiful, or it can be an occasion of contention and tears. So this is Maddie and Benny's piano lesson.
Okay, Maddie, why don't you show us what you learned this week? Really good. You really showed us that you mastered everything that you were supposed to learn this week. This is great. So now maybe we could practice it and add in a repeat and maybe work on some dynamics to really add in some more stuff so you can show me that you can learn more with this. Okay, Benny, why don't you come on in? See what you can do with this, buddy. Wow, that's like a runaway train there. We have some issues going on with our rhythm here. Why don't we work on trying to figure out those rhythms? Why don't we clap them and see if we can count them out? This is a half note, remember? These are not all quarter notes, so why don't we clap our rhythms, okay? Can we clap all these rhythms, or at least the first line with me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay, it's the same on the second line, so can you try playing that for me now? Let's see what we got. Good. You needed to get those rests in there, but you did a really good job. I heard them. You were just holding on to them a little bit better. That was much better after we clapped out those rhythms. Really good job. Thank you, buddy. You did a really good job with that.
So this was a simple demonstration, but shows that the need for good instruction, and in our case, in professional learning community or accountable community work, that a support system is planned for to both help students that do well, like Maddie did, and enrich their experience, but at the same time also, of course, remembering that there are students that are not going to do as well and plan for their support, just like my wife did for Benny.
So our fifth principle for our accountable community foundations is the idea that professional learning is predetermined and that it is tailored to fit the needs of both our teachers and our students. Now, I just got back from some back-to-school shopping for my boys, and I have an example that I think will demonstrate that well. We'll step on inside here. All right, guys. Well, let's see how I did. I've got a new pair of pants for each of you guys. I think I got the sizes right. I'm not exactly sure. Logan, why don't you try them on first?
Okay. Come on. Sweet. Now why Logan gets it first?
All right, Logan, let's check them out.
Are you serious?
Ho! Those are a little bit big.
Yeah.
All right, go back inside and take them off, and we'll have Trevor try them. Sorry, buddy.
Give me a pair that actually fits me.
All right. My bad. All right, Trev, let's check them out.
Dad, these feel perfect.
Sweet. All right. Those do look good. Okay, thanks, bud. Go take those back off. Okay, Jackson, what do you got?
Dad, this is not going to work.
Oh, those are some big pants. All right, sorry, buddy. All right, so kind of a silly example. Hopefully you get the point. In this example, obviously, I bought one size of pair of pants for each of my 3 boys. And obviously, one size does not fit all. Now, like this, professional learning within each of our different accountable communities is not one size fits all. It must be customized. In fact, it must be tailored to fit the needs not only of our students in each of our professional learning communities or accountable communities, but also the needs of our teachers. All right, we'll move along to principle number 6. Well, yard work day here at the Ward Home, a favorite day for many, as you can imagine. Thought this was the perfect opportunity to introduce our final principle for our 6 foundations of accountable communities, which is the sharing of lessons, lesson plans, lesson ideas, and assessments to help improve instruction and help improve the workload.
Dude, I'm sweeping.
Dude, I'm weeding.
How am I supposed to sweep when you're throwing all the weeds on the sidewalk?
How am I supposed to weed when I can't put the weeds anywhere? Woo, I have an idea. How about you help me weed, and then when we're done weeding, then I can help you sweep.
Okay.
Now, to be sure, that never happens, okay? But the idea there is a good idea, that there is value in working together, there's value in sharing work, that we all benefit by that, which is the main principle behind the final principle of these 6 foundations. Having said that, we'll go ahead and close it off.
Okay, Computech and Sequoia Middle Schools, we hope you enjoyed watching that video as much as we enjoyed making it, even though we did break 2 major video making rules. Number 1, keep it short.
And number 2, only put good-looking people on camera. Nevertheless, it is what it is. We had a lot of fun making it, and we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday.